In the morning of August the 23rd, the Germans emerged from the woods at the northern edge of the village and fell on the French positions held by the 49th Regiment. By midday, just the northern part of the village was in their hands. The French withdrew and prepared a counter-offensive supported by savage outbursts of artillery. The battle raged on, and it appeared that the French were retaking the higher ground. But towards 6 p.m, when reinforcements failed to arrive from Charleroi, the Germans surrounded the French troops via Marbais-la-Tour and Baudribou Farm. Following orders received, the French fell back towards Tuilly and gave up the village to the Germans. Fighting was vicious. Nearly 1,000 soldiers were killed, with nearly 2,000 wounded or missing. The village church was converted into a temporary hospital. The pews were removed and replaced by mattresses stuffed with straw and hay for the wounded from both sides. The wood from the pews was used for splints and crutches. Most of the wounded, however, were attended to in the open field between the Beaumarais and Beignet road, before the walking wounded were evacuated on foot to Charleroi, while the remainder went by car or tram. In this case as elsewhere, the battle cost the civilian population dearly. A cafe owner was shot because he was suspected of supplying information to the French, while other people were simply caught in the crossfire. The destruction was serious. 36 houses were burnt down, including the community centre. Harvests were destroyed, trees felled to clear fields of fire. Fields were trampled by wheeled vehicles and the digging of firing trenches. Everywhere lay shattered weapons, smashed helmets, bags spilling out of clothing, blood-stained boots. Civilians were then forced to bury the dead and were brutally faced with the worst horrors of war. Mutilated, dismembered bodies, personal possessions, witnessing a life brutally brought to an end, a family in mourning. On the following day, the dead were buried, both German and French. A cross with the soldier's name was crudely stuck into the ground, while the occupiers listed the burials. In 1915, Gozee municipality gave the Germans a plot of land to establish a Franco-German cemetery. Over 1,000 soldiers from both armies were transferred there. Then, as time passed and when peace had been restored, the combatant parties would recover their soldiers to reinter them in national graves, and the cemetery would disappear.